Hello everyone, and welcome to my next video for the City of Final Fantasy Opera. And in this video I'm going to be taking on Arciela's Lost Chapter LUFENIA quest, and for this one I'm bringing along a party of Cloud, Kurasame and Krile with a Ramza friend and a Pandemonium summon, or a Ramsey friend, as I've seen some people say it for some reason in the comment section, and ever since I've heard that I just can't get it out of my head that because Ramza has a shout skill that he's yelling at the enemies like Gordon freaking Ramsay. Anyway, this one is a hell of a lot easier than the previous LUFENIA that we're on because it has exactly zero of the cancerous bullshit LUFENIA mechanics that the Medusa one has. These enemies are extremely kind, and they just decide to sit there and not cleanse themselves and basically just let you beat them into submission, which is absolutely what I'm going to do. They are not even going to be getting a single turn because I am focusing on characters that have a high damage per action, because the LUFENIA orb kicks in when they have 20% health remaining, and the only way to increase the LUFENIA orb is to dispel the enemy's buffs, which implies that you need to let them take a turn, because if they don't get turns they won't be able to buff themselves. And ironically, it also means that Arciela is not even the best character for her own LUFENIA quest, because she dispels all buffs at once, and it's not a guarantee that the enemy will buff themselves if they get a turn. So you generally want, if you're playing a lot more conservatively, you probably want characters like, funnily enough, like Balthea, or like Cloud with his World of Illusions weapon, who can dispel one buff at a time, so you're not burning through all of the buffs. You're not basically chewing through all the buffs at once, because whether you dispel one buff or you dispel 5, you're still going to get the same plus 10 turns to the Luffy orb. But then I'm just going to be bringing a team like this, and we're just going to be pretending the orb doesn't exist, and we're just going to completely ass blast through them, because they don't have the frame lock that the freaking Medusas have. They don't have Imperil immunity. They don't cleanse. They basically just sit there and let you fuck them up, which is absolutely what we're going to be doing. So Kurasame is here as ever just for the LD debuff. That's basically all he's good for, or it's all he'll get to do. Cloud is here for the launch degeneracy, and Krile is there just to make that go even more extreme. So without further ado, let's jump into it and let's get going. So this quest does have some bravery gain reduction, so the batteries from Krile won't be as potent as they normally are, but they're still pretty strong, and you'll see that they will absolutely be enough to do what we need them to do. So first things first, let's get up Kurasame's stuff, and here let's battery it with Krile. And I have Ramza as an LD call, just so I can get in an extra turn on launchage, and just so it can delay the enemies, to make sure that they're not going to be able to get to act. Excellent. So actually, one thing that is true, so I'm just going to pop my all advance here. One thing that is the case is, and you can see here that Krile has actually popped up in the turn order, which is very nice. If we use cleansing over here, we will actually launch the enemy with a decent amount of battery. Although perhaps not quite as much as I was hoping for, but never mind. And Krile should ideally have had her turn after Kurasame, because that way we would have been able to take advantage of Ramza's burst effect to do Krile's EX with. But you know, it's all good. It is what it is. I'm wasting a turn of her additional ability here, I know. But let's just do a quick deal cast. So that battery's not going to be the most potent. It's only going to be like clocking in at 11k, which is it's not bad, but there's definitely better. So of course we're going to go straight into Ramza. Ramsey build. I wish I could just keep anti-paretic on for like the whole thing, and just cut through Cloud's burst music and just play this. That's the tactics fanboy in me speaking. Okay, so we want to get the Jack debuff. And the nice thing about using call effects like this, is that they do not tick down Krile's EX buff. So that will still be sitting at like 2 ticks, which is really nice. So we've got up all of Jack's shit, and now we just go into Cloudburst. Go, and a Blade Beam, and we know the routine at this point. We know what we do when we're in this burst. It's kind of unfortunate because we weren't able to use Kryle's skill 1 after Ramsey came in. I mean Ramza, I'm starting to say it now as well, fuck me. After Ramza came in, because that would have made Ramza's burst effect a bit stronger, because it would have given him more visible buffs to work with. But it's fine. Oh yeah. At certain HP thresholds, the enemies also apply this frames debuff to you, and that is kind of that's basically a HP poison effect. But it's never going to be threatening enough to actually be worth worrying about. Like, it's not going to do enough damage by the time we kill these things, to the point that you would even care about it. Like, you can just do whatever. And now for the finisher. Ooh, 610. I've seen it do a bit higher than that. If we had full buffs on with Ramza, it goes to like 630 plus. But I mean, that's still pretty strong. That's still pretty good. Okay, because damage per action is important here, what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be using a regular Thunder. Because we don't really want to spend any turns doing anything that doesn't deal damage at this point. So I am absolutely going to be going straight into summon with Ramza. And just spamming LD. Gotta love that bug with the invisible sword. Also, look at this battery from Ramza. Like, it still takes everyone to like 80 freaking thousand bravery, even though we have bravery damage reduction. So that is a really strong battery. Yeah, you know what? Just finishing touch. I'm gonna do a bravery attack. I probably should have attacked B, but it's all good. So one thing about using the cleansing skill, the LD from Krile, is that also has a battery built into it as well. So that's even nicer. It's not quite as strong as Ramza's battery, but it's enough. So I could do a Blade Beam here, but I'm absolutely not going to. I'll just focus on the launch damage instead. Like, we do have the EX up, but this will do more damage. So we want to take advantage of the max Brave pool during the summon, because we have a lot more breathing room to work with these two burst effects going on. Now it's pretty much just a race to the finish line at this point, just to keep attacking and hope we kill them before the orbs expire. Spoiler alert, we should do, unless we do something stupid. So this is where I am going to use the EX. God, Krile EX doing over 130k, you love to see it, because of the burst effects going on. And all the LDs. So now we will use the launch over here. So I do have I don't think I will manage to kill the enemy before my next finishing touch, so I am going to just do a Blade Beam instead. Even though I know we all have bravery, I probably should have launched there, but you know, what can you do? And here comes Kurasame. So the awkward thing here is that we basically need to kill these enemies at roughly the same time. So I'm focusing damage on A over here because I'm going to do a launch on B with Cloud. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to do this on A. And I'm going to do this. Okay, so if we use an EX here, and then if we use Kurasame's LD, we should be able to kill them at the same time. So let's do that. Let's do a Ramza, and let's do a Ray of Hope, and let's do an EX. Okay, and let's make sure we're targeting A because we get that extra little bit of knockback against the wall. And this should be GG. There we go. And that is going to be all she wrote for Arciela's last chapter. So when I initially pulled for Cloud's burst weapon, I didn't think it was all that impressive at the time that I actually pulled it, because there were other characters like Kuja, for example, that just seemed a lot stronger. But now we're getting to these synergistic setups with Krile, for example, and with Kurasame, and with Ram's burst weapon, and the LDs from Jack and everything else we've got going on. Like, Cloud is just becoming, I think, even better than he was when he first came out. And I personally can't wait until Cloud gets his LD boards. I think he's going to be even more busted. I know Squall has a lot of focus as being incredible when he gets his LD boards on the Start Dash revamp, but I think that Cloud is actually also going to be like really freaking good. Possibly as good as, if not better than, Squall with the right setup, so I'm definitely going to be doing some experiments with him either way. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching, I hope you all enjoyed, and until the next time, take care and goodbye.